It's good stuff.
Wish we could have gotten on earlier. Sounds like we missed some good stuff there.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Definitely leaning into that slingshot and s'more stuff, which I agree, Spivey. Those are what Brandon and I always refer to as passive motivators. You know, the things that they work for you to motivate the troops while you're awake, while you're asleep. They just work, but you have to install them into the brain of people. You got to do the math. You got to show them for it to work. So yeah, what's the process? What's the onboarding process to make sure everyone on the team gets that message? And that sounds like what we were getting a little flavor of there. So thank you, Ian.
Yeah.
You bet. Mr. Ellison, the only thing that you missed of importance really was the discussion around Michigan earning a spot in the playoff, winning their conference, and another team not accomplishing either of those feats this year. So other than that, just last words. Appreciate it all. Thanks for allowing me the opportunity before you.
Good. Yeah. Michigan's record in the playoffs is fantastic so far. You guys keep that up. I mean, you would have really given it to Georgia, though. I will say you would have just handed it to them. So. We're not supposed to talk football. People say that's divisive.
I know, but Ian, before
we're a basketball school.
Before
anyway.
you and Kip and Misty chime off, if there's some questions in the chat, if y'all would take a quick peek and respond to a few of those, some great questions. I appreciate it.
Man, we have a dandy of a call lined up. You see some names out there. Exciting announcement coming from Weaver, Texas Ranger here in a little bit. We've got Rex Knight Jr. Rex, unveil for a second. Let me just ask you one question.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man. You had a pretty good month of December, didn't you?
Yeah, I'd say so.
What was your personal production in December?
57 apps for 111K capped.
Uncapped, what would it have been?
About $2 grand more. There wasn't a lot of monsters in there.
Yeah. So 100, you said 115-ish?
111.
111-ish. So if you want to know how Rex did that, then I would say stick around because you're going to draw it out for us, right?
Absolutely, man.
Love it. Casey, did you ever even do 111,000 in a quarter?
Unfair, Brandon.
Well, I didn't.
Put me on the spot like that.
You were like 2007.
I don't think I did.
No, I did not. So anyway, it's going to be a good one. We have a lot of good stuff to cover. We also have CC and
Agnes.
Ayres is Agnes is on somewhere, or he may be joining Cicely. So we will get right to it, shall we? Couple of fun announcements. Couple of
bonuses. Some promotions.
Yes.
Come on, what a call!
Got a lot.
There is a lot. So we'll start off with some leaderboards. Abigail Fleming, 6,677 is our top overall new rider, which, by the way, we talked about Rex's December, Casey. We have had, congratulations to everybody out there that's had a monster January. Get past the first week of January, and we've gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's been some really good production numbers that, you know, well outpaced what we've seen to start the year, obviously, in the past. So congratulations to you guys for that.
Another good one, guys.
Gonna be another good one. Look at these numbers here. Christy Stadola, Ashley Richard, and then Oscar Cruz with $50,000 for the week. Oscar.
Ashley Richards on pace. I think I've told you guys, she set a personal goal. She's trying to hit 300K in 3 months. And she's on pace.
What month are we in right now?
This January is her first month going for it.
Okay. I wouldn't bet against her.
She's approaching 100K for the first month. I think it might. No, maybe she may have started in December.
I kind of think we talked about this at the Champions or in the Champions Cup location in Mexico, and she may have already just started that run, or maybe she was gearing up for it. But send me a text, Ashley. Let us know where you are in that. Where are we? App count. Look at these app counts. 31 for Ashley Richard, number 1 for the week. Top DI rider for the week was Kelly Bush with $10,109. It's a big one. IUL, January is month 1, says Ashley. We're going to hold you Accountable, she's at 89,000. What is today's date? The 25th. You got 6 more days. I think you got this. We'll see. IUL producers, which by the way, if you're an IUL producer and you're not working some of the IUL leads, I would say to give them a shot because they're really amazing. Ashley says Oscar needs to calm down though. Fair. It's really fair. Top annuity producer for the week was Jen Swigert.
Come on, swag.
We call her the swag because she is an unbelievable advanced markets producer. Good week for you too, Margaret Cozina. Top DFL producer for the week was John Clayton. Lola Onifod also had a great week. You see everybody's
Do
name.
you think that's potentially the same John Clayton that might have got to go to a last minute concert this week, Brandon?
I was hoping so. I was wondering if you talked to John about that.
You have to follow up. Might have to have a special guest here.
We happened to run across a few extra tickets in Memphis for Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock. I mean, if I would have gone to that show, I think that was Monday night. If I'd have gone to that, I bet I would still have a pulled muscle in my rib cage laughing so hard. Hopefully he had as much fun as we would have. Andrew Jimenez is the top new writers, getter, acquirer, wrangler for the base shop, and Marshall Whalen for the directs.
Let's go, Marshall.
I hear you, Marshall. That's your direct too, man. He's heard the message. And I think we could pause and just talk about this message for just a second.
Yep.
There is so much purpose and value to the organization, but also value to your own organization in continuing to go wide, that I would always have a system in place to where I'm going wide. Doesn't mean that I'm necessarily having to man it the whole time, but I'm trying to groom that next level of leaders, Casey.
Yep.
If you're not continuing to go wide and you're focusing on, because I have heard managers say, well, there's a lot of stuff that you have to deal with. There's a lot of problems that come up when you have, other directs. I'm like, yeah, there can be, or you can work to train them to handle their business and you keep handling yours and step in less or when you need to. But I would be working on that factory. I'd have an assembly line of agents coming into my organization by hiring recruiters, onboarders. I'd be hiring new agent mentors, which you probably don't even necessarily need to hire. You can groom them in your organization. And I would turn that thing into a machine. So some of you directs out there, if that's not what you're doing, look at what Nate Offord has done as a great example. Pritchett has continued to do it the whole time as well. But when someone decides to focus on their base shop, watch how quickly it can happen. And the revenue that you get from that is just crazy. Depth is stability. Width is profitability. And hopefully you're the type of person that doesn't get complacent. That's what I would say. We need one of those, the more you know.
Again, even if you do get complacent, you never can get complacent. Well, I guess at a certain point you can financially, but I always kind of think about it like just if I'm going to diversify and make an investment, maybe you see a lot of these guys that are, and Brandon, you and I've done a lot of this is, you start to kind of diversify and start looking at investments outside of insurance. Maybe it's real estate or whatever, or other businesses. There's just nothing that beats a base shop. And if you look at it like you're saying, where you really can set it up for yourself, you don't, it's going to take a bit to set it up, but once you get it set up, it's a machine. And I would argue that it would be, at least 2-3 times more profitable than any investment outside of the insurance space. And it's the thing that continues to identify your up and coming leaders. That's what your base shop is. It's your farm team. So you'll never run out of new agency owners. And therefore, once as you guys see with agency owners, the next move up is, hitting that top contract and getting to the equity game. So you're just ensuring yourself that you're going to have a pipeline of that. And oh, by the way, it's an incredible cash flow machine.
Absolutely. Best investment. You said it, man. Best investment there is out there. And it's
times 10 compared to any real estate investment we've had.
And we've got plenty of real estate investments. It's fine. We don't do anything that takes us time because that's time away from something that is way more profitable, putting the right focus on it. So It's also purpose, right? Purpose through impact. And I think sometimes people can begin to feel, as the book of the month that we're reading talks about, people begin to kind of lose energy, they lose focus, they begin to kind of feel burned out. I would say that, what is the purpose that you're going for? What is the impact that you're able to make? And I think we're all blessed to be in an organization or in an industry where you can do that. So speaking of, look at this. I mean, talking about this is a month. This is a month, by the way. This is a month.
Do you know how hard it was for these individuals to achieve that type of income, Brennan? They had to ask, I mean, heavens forbid, they had to ask like a couple more questions.
That seems like it's too much.
If I ask you and Casey 3 more questions once per day, will y'all throw me an extra 15K a month?
It depends on what questions you ask, I guess.
Fair.
You ask a really good question that gets us thinking. That's all these guys are doing. Michael Warday, Michael Drummond, and Martin Morale. I mean, $15,000 in a month just by setting up someone else to go do the job. And it solidifies the first app that I wrote.
Yep.
This is not production, this is income. Tom Hall, the animal Mike Leidecker, Mike and Christine. I mean, come on now. Then you got passive income earners on the other side, right? Corey Sizemore, Ike Manello, Eric Jenkins, all on the PCS side. Tom Deutsch, Hemi, and Cook. Just free money, man. That's what it's all about. Top SNAs, 3-way tie. Actually looks like a 16-way tie. Congratulations, everybody. On the direct side, there's only one at the top, and it's the Mank Tank, and he intends to stay there. Well done. SNAs for last week was Amanda Lady. Then I'll go to last names: Johnson, Trinkle, Buford, Morton, Ward, Oliveros, Armalay, Woodward, Rice, Campbell, Del Regno, Dirk, Buck, Willie. I go Willie. You may say Wiley. I'm going Willie. And Anderson. Well done, seasoned new agents.
SNAs.
Yeah. Top key leader for the week was Allie Metzen with almost $60,000. Steve Montgomery in recruits, and a whole bunch of people down there for new riders. Cantrell, Newman, Montgomery, and Hoysett. Well done, key leaders. Top AO was Ashley Richard, 53,000, almost 54. Eric Gurr for recruiting. New riders was also Eric Gurr. Way to go. David Alvarado edging out Larry and Ann Griffin. Way to go, Alvarado. Sarah Reinecke with the top number of recruits for the week, though, 15. And new riders, man. Big things coming from that one.
Yep. Killed a triple call yesterday, too, Sarah.
Yep.
Really good.
Yeah. Eileen Balmer, 191,000. Trey Alderson Cloutier with 11 recruits. And 3-way tie with Mike Casey, Jerry Cantrell, and Eileen, all with new riders. That's a lot of new riders, 12. Way to go, gang. Seriously. Way to go. By the way, should we do like just a quick plug, Spivey, for Trey's side hustle? He says he doesn't spend a lot of money or energy on it. He sent us a few gifts. Can you hold that up for the crew? What do you call these? What do you call these? These are
like desk pads, I would say.
Desk pads. Yeah, sorry, you have to take your desk apart a little bit there. But we got a Quility desk pad here. I actually have a stand-up desk, so I can't use a desk pad, but check that out. It's almost like a Quility anime. That looks like a mean Quigley.
Yeah.
Like one of those
kind of anime.
Yeah, like a honey badger almost.
Got the cornerstones of success on there. It's got the
Way to go, Trey.
4 steps. It's so good.
Love that, man.
That little plug for Trey. I like that.
Yeah, man. The Wild Child with 141,000. Griff and Cook tied on recruits at 11. And Cook and Ziller tied with 4. Tie goes to production, Cook. Sorry. Lost it this week, buddy. We'll see where it shakes out at the end of the month. The Godfather with 176,000. Jim Bob Spildiner's team with 12 recruits, and Tony Capistrano with 7 new riders. Mike and Sarah with 6. A couple of 5 there too. Good job, guys. Executive Vice President of the Mank Tank, Scott, and Scott. Got 10 recruits and I got 10 new riders. I would say that's a pretty good average here, buddy. Well done. Lynn Watkins, number one on the associate partners board with 641, 30 recruits. Ryan Michelle Miller, though, with 15 new riders. Danny Young. Well done, sir. Top managing partner, Marshall Whalen, with a monster of a month. Look at that. Or a week, excuse me, 1.2. Whalen, what happened differently, man? Text me. I want to know. That's a big number. Whalen with 92 recruits and 66 new riders, Casey. 66. Half of those, it looks like, from Team Pogue, if that's how this works. I think that's probably how this works. 33. Well done. Kevin Purdy is the top direct. I love that because last year, keep in mind, Kevin Purdy broke out 3 directs. So you want to talk about somebody that understands going wide and building the base. KP gets the game. 205,000. Jacob Pogue with 34 recruits. Marshall Whalen with 15 new riders. And finally, the base shop board, JPV, Jamie Susie, and Andrew Jimenez with 7 new riders. Well done. Got a couple promotions here. Hopefully you got the message, Spivey. $30,000 of net place premium, 2 months in a row. That ain't easy to do, guys. Joanne Castellano. We need a wall of fame, virtual wall of fame, digital wall of fame, Casey. Let's get our elite producers placed somewhere. I bet they're on the website or on HQ. Let's make sure. Spivey, I should say. 20,000 net place 2 months in a row. Fitzgerald, Autenreith, Basotti, and Jinx. Well done. A lot of new team leaders: Guerrero, Duran, Padam, Hart, Arnzen, McBean, Chillick, Hoffman, Fisher, Ballard, Duff, Jinx, and Banks. Way to go. Heading in the right direction. Fitzgerald, Hicklin, Quillen, Oh, we might need some help on this one. Chimu, Casey? Chimu? Quillen, Chimu? Watts, and Strimple. Got 5 new agency owners. Congratulations. You now own your own business. Aaron Avedon, Bo Hirschfield, Craig McManaman, Hannah Grace, and John Berlin. You have to turn in some pictures.
Well done, AOs.
Well done, AOs. Welcome to the game. David Whiteman, Shannon Turner, now agency directors. Jamie Susie, regional agency director with Stephen Brenez.
Nice.
Sarah Reinecke, a new equity partner.
Yes.
Fun. Way to go. Fastest in history, I think, to get to the equity partner phase. Well done. A lot of bonuses being paid out, man. And there were some big ones, $845,000 in bonuses paid out. I love seeing Pogue creep up that board too. Purdy, Pogue, Delaney creeping up, Marshall Whalen still sitting at the top with almost 150 grand in bonus revenue. And keep in mind, we just saw that for the week, his direct agency also did $200,000. So what do you think an average override is on $200,000 if you're an equity partner?
30.
I mean, I'd say on the conservative side, we're 25 points.
Yeah. Very conservative.
It's crazy. Does
Lot
Marshall have a jet yet? Does Pritchett have a jet yet?
He's been shopping. He's considered. I don't know that he's actually been shopping.
I love it. Love it. Love
I'm
it.
sure he has.
He's played around with some numbers. Let me say.
Browsing, we'll say. Yes. Congratulations, Sarah Ronick and Sean Kim. Somehow you both managed to hit the same exact number to sit at the top for capital bonus. And our top producer was the Deuce, Jake Van Dusen, man. He's a machine, $4,102. Well done, everybody. So that's a grand total of $969,496. Last year's bonus payout, $13,375,000
Yes.
Way to go, gang. If you're not getting in while the getting's good, you need to be getting. You ain't getting it. Currently, agents are not receiving notifications when digital leads delivered through Switchboard. Tell us in the Q&A chat if you would like a notification when digital lead is delivered to your CRMs. Let us know in the
This
chat.
is a live poll, Brandon.
Live poll. Let's go, everybody.
Live poll. This is important, guys. Currently, all of you agents out there, you do not know, you do not get a notification when a digital lead is delivered through Switchboard. We need to know in the chat, yes, you would like a notification. No, you would not like a notification. So that we can get a quick poll. We have the capabilities to work towards making sure a notification goes out. But we'd like to make sure that you guys want that feature turned on.
Is there a reason why we wouldn't want it? We'll see about that. Shouldn't ask questions that I don't know the answer to.
I would say that
Sales
I would want to
website.
talk to Maitland about that to confirm the downside to it, but obviously it's we can get a lot of clutter in our emails, in our email inbox with a lot of notifications. So there's always a fine balance between those that would like to know and those that have too many emails to check off.
Yeah,
Sure.
like all the people that
Solution, yeah.
all the people that get emails from me wanting me to rush out and get a.
Maitland's across the hall giving me the she's giving me 2 thumbs up. I nailed it.
Oh, good. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Every once in a while, we have to remind people that I would never send you an email asking you to go get me a gift card. It does not mean that I've been hacked. It means that no one's necessarily been hacked. They're phishing you because they see that I am the CEO along with Casey on LinkedIn. They see that you work for the same company as you've updated your profile, and they're trying to get you to go get a direct where is it normally? Where do they want the gift cards from?
They normally want you to go buy Apple gift cards at the nearest CVS,
Apple gift cards.
Walgreens, and scratch off the little thing and give them the number.
Okay.
And yes, this is something that I probably get 4 to 5 of these a week. And yes,
Week.
Sometimes
Nope.
I actually do send texts out though.
Just a test.
occasionally Casey
Someone
does
sends
want
an
you to
Amazon
run.
gift card.
I
If
know.
Casey you ever get a text from Casey saying, please run the nearest gas station for a Take 5 Reese's candy bar,
That could be,
that's probably legit.
Might be it.
that could be legit.
That's funny.
Well, thank you, everybody, for submitting in the poll. I have scrolled down as fast as humanly possible, and I've not found a no yet. So I believe we can hit the gavel on that one, Brandon.
Ayres Newsom is looking for a clarifying question. Check your phone, please.
Text or email. Yeah.
Text or email.
Right now, it's email because we can't text. The only text numbers that we can mass text or have a
It's a
consistent database is
text notification to you, not mass text.
Oh.
I would say both would be the correct answer. We want both. We'll verify that.
yeah.
Want more leads?
Texting the individuals will be a challenge. Right now, we'll get there.
Texting the owners of Switchboard?
Yep.
We'll get there. It's coming. Who needs more leads? Raise your hand. Virtually raise your hand. You shouldn't. If you need more leads, you're just not paying attention. They're everywhere, man. We can get digital leads. We can get call-in leads. There's even some direct mail leads out there. They're everywhere. And I will say that getting leads is the key to writing a lot of business.
And there's advanced market leads like IUL,
Oh.
DFL, and annuity. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, Rezzy.
Let's go. Oh,
Come on, Rezzy, don't be wandering away.
God, you just ruined my whole announcement, Rezzy.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even know that was on there next. There you
Mhm.
We gotta
go.
work on his timing.
I know.
His timing was really bad on that one.
Comedic timing.
Or it could be perfect as a transition.
Maybe it was my timing was bad.
All
I
right.
just didn't hit down quickly enough. So not certified, get certified. Need leads, get leads. That's it.
That's
And
right.
what were you saying? I mean, promote these for me. Give me the 30-second spiel on what you've seen with some of these IUL or annuity or DFL leads from some of the trial people.
Yeah.
Give me some goods.
The annuity certified, when we initially piloted and we did 300 in the pilot, we only saw 100 of those 300, but we uncovered $60 million worth of assets. Now, obviously, we didn't close those, so we didn't close 100% of that 60 million, but through proper certification and followed up training, the potential there. I mean, seeing 100 annuity leads come in and $60 million worth of assets uncovered shows that the opportunity is there. And we just need to work on closing and sales process and following certification processes. IUL leads are crushing with an average case size right around the 2,400 range, and DFL is still within the average commissionable target premium of $3,700. And adding on to advanced markets with the resets, the average case size for a reset is over $4,000 over the last 12 weeks. So as you guys continue to build your agencies and get people in that are advanced market certified, just leveraging those resets and these advanced market leads to diversify your agency and more value prop to your clients, the more premium you're going to see down the road with your agency.
Love it. Well done. A little longer than 30 seconds though. Gotta work on that timing.
38. I timed it.
Wasn't bad. It is very important to accurately disposition your leads. Extremely important. Accurate lead dispositions and opt are critical for the success and optimizations of our lead programs. It's especially true for our digital leads, as it helps us determine which leads to further invest in. Additionally, accurate disposition and lead sources help us determine routing and allocation processes. Please always select the correct lead source and only mark a lead as a referral if it is truly a referral. Want better leads? Do your job. Anything else to add to that? I didn't read it very well, but that's okay. We've updated our HQ pop-up system a year ago. Favorite, snooze, archive, and more. Explore the new features. Top 20 leaderboards. Here we go. We're into the fall classic.
Boom.
Now we're taking the top, I believe it was 200. The other ones can be found on HQ. This is the net place number. Moving forward, we're going to be looking at submit, then moving to net placed after there's a true up at the end of every month. So there you go. The deuce is winning right now. A lot of lead credits to give out in this piece, but really you're fighting to be able to get in the standings to qualify for $100,000, not $200,000.
$100,000.
Good.
You've got to be amongst the top 200 during the qualifying period, which we are in right now, guys. So everybody make sure you head to HQ and you will see the running total for the top 200 and where you fall. But for leaderboard purposes, we want to make sure we're keeping a focus. The top 10 individuals during the qualifying period are also competing for some really sweet lead credits.
Yes.
Do not miss out on this.
This goes to the end of March. So look at the leads, get in the game, just keep getting better and you can compete. I promise you. Here we go. Final.
This is big.
Champions Cup 2.
Final.
Tell them what they win. This is the directs division.
We want to say it's final, Brandon, with a small asterisk. Remember, guys, we're going to look back on business 90 days later to make sure that it's quality business and that the majority has stayed on the books and met all the parameters. So without further ado, these are going to go ahead and announce 3 category winners today. Next week, guys, we will be announcing the rest of the winners, which includes the top overall winner for the entire contest, and also the 39 individual contest winners that will win for each direct organization. But for this week, come on, Brandon.
Love it. Direct division. What do they win?
Direct division final, and what are they competing for? First place is going to get an all expense paid vacation. Second place, an additional night and suite upgrade for the entire week at the Directs Trip or Champions Cup in LeBlanc in Mexico. Third place, you're going to get something really, really terrible.
Sorry, Mank. All right, for these next ones, Spivey, you're supposed to start with third place and go up. That way we can be on par here. Congratulations, Jacob Pogue. Well done.
Come on, Pogue, way to go.
This is Cancun, I believe, right? Cancun LeBlanc, which some people argue that's my favorite. I don't care what y'all say. I like that one better than Cabo LeBlanc. Casey and I disagree on this, and as usual, he's wrong. I'm right. It's okay. Everybody's gonna chime in and be like, no,
Why don't you guys
combo
vote
is way better.
Combo or Kenku?
I know. No
Congratulations,
polls, no
buddy.
polls needed.
We'll be reaching out to you,
You're
buddy.
scared of a poll.
I don't want to poll because everybody I've talked to likes Cabo better. And I don't understand why. I like having the beach. I want to be able to go swim. I want to be able to jump in the water. I want to be able to like do things and not just stare at an ocean that I can't get in. That seems cruel.
We do like to snorkel on these trips.
Snorkeling is always fun. All right. What do these guys get? Top
Yes,
overall
is
base
just
shot.
first place overall, first place for total base shop and first place for agency owner. They will win a 4-night, all expense paid, world-class vacation. Company's top performers and managers, all located at the resort selected by the founders. The most exclusive trip in all of Symmetry. And the winners are.
Drum roll, Casey. Number 1, base shop winner, Jeremy Whitaker.
Come on, Jeremy.
You know how Jeremy won? Because he was still producing in Cabo. I saw him doing it.
That's right.
Love it. And for the top agency owner overall, number 1, of course.
Come on,
Misty
Misty.
Centron. Well
Nice.
done. 230,000 points. Well done,
Nicely
Misty.
done.
Well done.
Welcome to the
Congratulations.
championship
We're going to
trip.
get more Champions Cup winners. We're actually meeting with the advisory board to see if Champions Cup is going to progress. So if you're a fan of Champions Cup, let your agency owners and your directs know. If you think that you can have too many contests, then let them know that too. We got some really good upcoming events this week. Thursday, tomorrow, hosted American Amicable's Weaver, Texas Ranger on the More You Know. We're going to set that up here in just a second. We also have our FIF resets call with Jeff Sigworth. Friday, we've got a call also by Jeff Sigworth, DFL 101. That's exciting, 3:00 on Friday. And then our FIF resets advanced markets webinar with Jeff Sigworth and Nate Burks on Tuesday.
Can I just add one thing for the resets 101 call and the DFL 101 call team? That's actually like open forum. You can ask questions. This is where it's really a lot of hands-on training, going through real world examples. You can bring something up and Jeff will go over how to handle that. It's really more back and forth instead of a webinar setting where you guys can't talk and you're just being dumped on a bunch of information. The 101s are really more interactive, more role play, more hands-on training. So if you need that for resets, need that for DFL, highly suggest that you guys get on the 101 call.
Love that, buddy. All right, Casey, it's almost video time.
Let's do this.
I think it was 4 years ago, you and I took the best insurance carrier trip that we've ever been on, and it really hasn't even been close. And we're ready to announce an exclusive partnership with American Amicable for our 2023 Symmetry exclusive experience. 2024 qualifying year 2023. Today, we're going to roll out where you guys are going to be able to earn a trip with American Amicable. So everyone mute and veil, and let's watch the video. Yes, sir, Rick Weaver.
Brought back some really good memories.
Golly, that is,
I am.
it ain't even close. Best trip we've ever been on, bar none. Rick, if they want to win this trip, they can join you tomorrow. We will let you know right now how you can actually earn the trip. But Rick's going to help you tomorrow know all the ins and outs of American Amicable and how you can do it. And we've got some exciting new products coming out with AMAM within the next 90 days, I would say, trialing within the next 30 is what I'm being told. So June 9th through 14th, mark your calendars. Most beautiful place I've ever been to is Interlaken, Switzerland, 5-star resort at the Victoria Jungfrau Grand Hotel and Spa. It's hard to put into words, just the hotel is great, but let's just say you won't be spending much time in the hotel unless you're there to get a spa treatment, massage. The food's great, the drinks are great, but you're not going to want to come in. Casey, you and I would leave in the morning, get a bike, get an e-bike with the ladies and not come back until dark, really.
We got off the plane. We put our bags in the hotel room, and within 10 minutes, we were hang gliding off the top of a mountain. It was epic. It was so awesome. That's just the way the trip kicked off, and it just kept getting better every single day. There's so much adventure to be had. The train rides, I'm saying it wrong, the Jungfrau mountain range right there. There's just everywhere you look, there's waterfalls and rainbows, and it's just all packed into like one picturesque everywhere you go. I mean, it's just normal for the Swiss people too. They don't even think about it, but there's waterfalls everywhere. It's such a cool spot.
It is. So we're taking the top. So we've taken an average of how many people that we've taken on an AMAM trip over the past several years. We're taking the top 10 personal producers with just a minimum of 60,000 to get in the running. But if you hit 60,000, that doesn't mean that you've qualified. You have to be in the top 10 of producers with American Amicable. And then we're kind of going to the UHL method, as we've done some in the past on the builders. We're taking the top 10 builders based on commissions earned with this carrier. That also is a minimum of 60,000 to compete. We love this because it allows the new agency owner to compete because they're still in the field and they're earning commissions from their personal production. They're earning commissions from their overrides. That person can compete with someone that is out of the field completely and just receiving overrides. So this is really anybody's game. And I will say that if we do better than expected with production with American Amicable this year, then we may extend a few invites. So if you find yourself right on the cusp of the top 10, maybe you fall out to 11 or 12, keep pushing, keep writing good business, because if a few spots open up based on the budget, because you guys have done better than we anticipate, then we're going to take a few more people, right? Casey, I don't know that I've been as excited about this one.
Yep.
And we have more news to come very soon on another carrier trip that may or may not be tied to this one. So, Mr. Weaver.
Good morning, everyone, or I guess good afternoon. And for most of you, the only thing that surprised me out of that was that it took you as long as it did. What, 10 minutes before you were on hang gliding or something?
That's right.
I have worried for years about you two guys, but I'm past that now.
Yeah.
I realize that
We'll be all right.
that we can't put constraints on you, but as Brandon and Casey have said, tomorrow, if you tune in or you join us on the national carrier call, 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central, we'll get into more detail in this, but I want to hopefully whet your appetites. This is the only, Symmetry Financial Group is the only marketing group American Amicable has ever considered doing this, let alone actually now doing it. So for us to have done that speaks volumes to the relationship we're now in our 13th year with Symmetry and American Amicable. And frankly, folks, we couldn't be more excited to have exclusivity just with you folks. We're really thrilled about it. Tomorrow, I know you're going to have some questions. I believe we'll be able to answer the majority of them. But again, I have not been there. So this whetted my appetite as well, seeing the video. But I know how adventurous these guys are. And for me, I can only draw some comparisons with some things, and I won't even share it because you'll learn once you qualify and attend. But I know what they're talking about for their farewell event, going to be very, very close to something we've done in Whistler, Canada. And those of you, there may be some of you on the call that have been with us in Whistler. And we all know how pristine, how gorgeous that is. I'm guessing Switzerland even takes it up another notch or two. So please join us tomorrow. And we'll get into a lot more detail, but not just that tomorrow. I'm going to promote, there's some other announcements we have tomorrow. Again, the theme is the more you know. So hopefully after the call tomorrow, you'll know a lot more. And guys, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be on the call. I see there were over 1,900 people on this call. That's phenomenal, to put it mildly. And looking forward to get to tomorrow. And everyone, some of those leaderboards, by the way, congratulations to all those folks in the leaderboard. Some phenomenal numbers, to put it mildly. And that's after coming off probably a trying holiday season where a lot of folks are worn out, tired, dragging a bit. And to see that level of activity speaks volumes. So thank you again. Looking forward to talking tomorrow. And for everybody on here, stay safe.
Thank you, Ricky. Appreciate you. Interlaken, Switzerland is where it is. A couple of questions on that. Interlaken.
AMM puts on an amazing trip. So we're
really
excited about this. And Rick and Joe are always in the mix with us. So I fully expect you guys to be paragliding with us as soon as we get off the plane together. Rick, looking forward to it.
It's true. CC, Agnes, and Rex, welcome.
What's
Ooh,
up?
Nice. Cicily, nice
Hey.
new glasses.
Thanks, man.
Ayres, have you got new glasses also? Did you guys go to the store together and say, you know what, 2023 is going to be the year of new specs?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of new glasses these days.
Love that.
Yeah. These are my new computer glasses. And when I grow up, I want to be like Rachel Jernigan's mom, Lynn. So
I love her. I love her
the glasses, I'm going to have fun doing it. So
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hey, y'all ready for Interlaken?
I may go back in the field in order to get this trip. I'm so excited about it. I will not miss this trip. I will not miss this
Very
trip.
excited about it.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Thrilled to have you guys on. I know that we had a lot to cover in that first 45 minutes, so I want you guys to feel free to go a little bit longer because there's going to be probably a lot of questions thrown at Rex, maybe thrown at you guys, so you guys can also kind of man the chat. You know, it's crazy to me that somebody can go out and do what you did, Rex. And I think you took away so many excuses because so many people love to kind of just shut it down a little bit during the holidays. They have convinced themselves that people don't want to buy insurance during the holidays. So we got 12 months roughly before anybody else can test that theory that you've proven that, yes, they definitely do want to buy insurance. But we certainly appreciate you doing that. I have one question for you, though. It's a simple one. Why did you do that? What was the driving force behind that? Was there something that clicked in you that said, you know what, I'm going to go out and make December my largest month ever? Or did it just kind of fall into place because you kept doing the fundamentals and the right things over and over?
Both and. I would say just the Champions Cup contest, and a good buddy of mine, elite producer, said he was going to turn it up a notch and look to try to do the same and write 100K. And so I know he was hot on my heels, and I knew that if I put in the resources and the time, it should be a doable thing.
Love it. Champions Cup was a driver?
Yeah, it was a big driver. I promised, Marshall, that I would try to get her a trip out of country, at least one or two a year. So I want to make sure I can keep that word to her.
Nice. Love that, buddy. Well,
Yeah.
I won't ask any more questions because I know that Ayres and Cicely have it all lined up to grill you and to talk about everything that they want to talk about. But I'm grateful to all three of you for joining us today and for everything. So go for it. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. And we will have everybody out of here at 2:14 today. You've got some guardians, some pioneers, some planners of calls, and we're gonna make it happen. Cicily Newsom, handsome husband Ayres Newsom. We are stoked to be on the call today with our good buddy and business partner, Mr. Rex Knight Jr. I'll give him a proper intro, but just grateful for the opportunity. Grateful to be able to watch a guy like Rex grow in this business over the past 8 years, and grateful for very soon to be grandpappy Edward Pritchett, who had the original vision for this agency, and also very soon to be Mr. Brian Delaney. Without those guys, we wouldn't definitely wouldn't be here. So very, very grateful for the opportunity. Guys, today we're going to talk about the recipe and maybe even a shopping list for a 100K month plus. I think, what's in it for you? Brandon alluded to it just a little bit. I think a lot of us, it's a mindset around what we're going to be able to do in this business. And I think we have been given, I know that we've been given a great system and great formulas to follow. And our speaker today has done just that. He has followed a recipe from the jump. So let's do proper introduction. And being a dear guardian friend of mine, I'm going to load this up with stats. Hold on to your head. It might float away, Rex, but coming in, Newsom Agency Champion Cup winner, weighing in at 57 applications for December at 111,306 APV, hitting his 8th anniversary in the exact same month with Symmetry Financial Group, top producer, agency owner, Golden Pin winner of 2016, finishing the year of 2022 with 277 apps for 345,900 in premium, folks, for the year, Mr. Rex Knight Jr. And Rex, I'm not even done yet, because some other cool things that I looked at when I was running this, outside of what you did in December and what these folks are getting ready to hear, outside of your December, you still averaged $19,000 a month in production for the rest of the year, right? Then I decided to just go back and look for the 8 years that you have been with us. And what do you know? 8 years, averaging 8 years, $226,000 a year, average for 8 years. That's $18,800 in personal production every month of every year for 8 years, guys. So this is certainly not the first time that you have been seen as a champion in this company, Rex. And I have just so many things that I just want to pour over you, and just, we are so grateful for the partnership. I wanted to pass it to Ayres. Ayres, what are some of the most endearing qualities that Rex Knight Jr. brings to the table for business and for friendship?
Well, thank you, Cicely. Ayres Newsom, direct to Symmetry Financial Group. And by way of Brian Delaney, just so incredibly grateful to you, Brian, for plucking me out of a Taekwondo class 10 years ago, and for giving me an incredible example and being a role model and a mentor and a friend to me. So thank you for that. For Rex, without a doubt, I think Rex is one of the most consistent people that I just know. It shows through, people like Rex do things like that. We just saw 8 years what his production looked like, and that is incredibly, how much more consistent can you be from that? One of the things that I just admire so much about Rex is he's that way in every aspect of his life. He's like that not only in business, he's like that with his family. He's like that with his community, with his church. He's like that everywhere. I really admire you, Rex, because you have just got you've got an incredible gift for for what Tim Pinso calls just forceful execution. And you do it relentlessly. And you do it really, if I'm going to be honest with you, you really do it flawlessly, because you can repeat it over and over and over again. And I'll even give you credit for this. You probably wouldn't give yourself credit for this, Rex, but I'm going to give you credit for it, for being a guardian. You are someone who I believe really adapts well. You may say that you don't adapt quickly, but what I will say is you find a way. And then once you find the way, you figure out how to do that over and over and over and over and over again. And that to me, Rex, is just what's so honorable, because when you can build that bridge between the thing that you've always done towards the new thing that has to be done, that just makes it duplicatable for so many other people. And I just, and man, and you've been a tremendous role model. I think you've got probably one of the most listened to audios in all of Symmetry on SoundCloud, the how to avoid the dreaded think about it, I want to say. And so you just learn, you just figure out not how to innovate. Like, I was reading through some notes the other day, and I think it was Chris Smith who said it in Denver. He said, innovation is rewarded, but execution is worshipped. And that's just the thing that you just do really well. You innovate in ways, and then you learn how to execute through the thing that you've innovated on. And that's just, and you do it tremendously every time. And so these are, I could go on and on, but I know we're limited on time here. So I'll just kick it back over to you, babe. Thanks for joining us, Rex. Thanks for being here, buddy.
My pleasure, man.
So guys, we have 3 takeaways that we want you guys to walk away from the next 20 minutes or so with, and love to keep it simple. Jordan Mitchell, a coach of ours, said that people don't remember things past 4, right? So we're going to give you 3. We're going to give you 3 ingredients to the recipe for 100K month plus. And those 3 takeaways, guys, simple: resources, resolution, recovery. Right? Resources, resolution, recovery. This Power of Full Engagement book that we're all reading couldn't have come at a better time with this call today. So Rex, let's just kick it over to you, man. Obviously, introduction, any thoughts that you have on your heart, and I'd like to get right into just resources and learning a little bit about what your resources look like for this run.
Absolutely. So Rex Knight Jr., direct to the beautiful Ayres and Cicily Newsom, and part of through Brian Delaney and Edward Pritchett. Very honored and blessed to be direct to you guys, for sure. Super thankful. As far as resources go, Cicily, specifically around the month of December, I started back in the week of Thanksgiving to look at, to see where I was at with the Champions Cup, where everything's set at that point, and looked at my current lead flow, my current APV at that point, and realized that Casey Watkins has always said, if you 2x your lead flow, you'll probably 3x your production. So I figured, hey, why not 2.5x or 3x my lead flow and see what the heck happens in the next 5 weeks, right? So that was my mindset going into that. Was like, I already proved to myself for years of the months that I'm actually working, writing production. Those months I'm averaging 25,000 and 20 to 25,000 of the months I'm actually writing production, because I take time off, that's what we get to do when we run our own business, right? That I'm only spending, 400, getting 10 leads a week for years on end to write that production. So I knew that the math made sense for me as a guardian to go out and look to multiply that.
So then, just to outline it for the people that really want the detail. So you were taking 10 leads a week, and I can attest you've done that for 8 years. What was the lead order like? And you can share what they were if you want. But what was the lead order like for December? What'd you up it to?
Yeah, so I went to 15 Razor Ridge and 10 mortgage protection, which, you're going to have your mix of call-ins and A-leads in there.
So 25 A-leads a week of a mix.
Yep.
Up from 10. Okay, awesome. So I think that a couple of takeaways from that, there's momentum, right? You planned ahead. You weren't like mid-December, like, oh, let me get some more leads, right? You planned ahead in November. This is what I'm going to do. You upped your lead flow. You saw the ratios play out, just like Casey told you that they, has said that they would. If we have time, talk a little bit about this idea of the harvest, right? Because everybody right now is in this flux, right? We're in this flux of figuring out what is Razor Ridge? What does it mean for my mortgage protection? How do I balance all this? What do I do? And so can you just talk about your mindset around the harvest?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys did a killer job a few conferences ago. My wife picks on me all the time. When I say a few months ago, that could have been 3 years or like literally 3 months ago, but it was sometime in the past around the parable of the sower. And, one of the things I took away from you and Ayres in general was like, hey, you may not always reap a harvest where you sowed the seed, but it's impossible to reap one without sowing one, right? It's impossible to reap a harvest without sowing seed. But for an example, it really wouldn't matter to me, Cicily, if I wrote 15 apps and 14 of them were from Razor or 14 of them were from mortgage protection. It's a matter of investing and working and, turning over each rock. And not getting ahead of you here, but part of over a third of my business last month, because I definitely want to make sure we have time to talk about this, came from a follow-up folder of people that I've been, working with and kind of keep them on the back burner as they look to let me help them. So just being a good steward of that and making sure my mindset was in the right place of like, hey, it's not a question of if, it's a matter of when I'm going to get in front of them and write policies.
Yeah, that's great. And I love that. It's like, you don't know where the business is going to come from. That doesn't matter. The fact that you put yourself in a position to win with increased resources, and then, yeah. Ayres, any thoughts on resources before we move into the next one?
Well, I just think that one of the things that's really important to just underscore on this is just Rex's attitude around it. He didn't go through and severely analyze, hey, which leads gave me the most. And if you were to ask him, he'd know because he's got plenty of stats on this. But in this idea that it's what it takes just investing and doing it over and over, because Rex, I remember there was a period there, even with call-in leads that call-in leads, you weren't getting a huge return on that initially as you were learning, right? Back to this whole point around innovating and figuring out, building that bridge. But like from the time that you started piloting those to the time that you figured it out, I mean, you wound up on a national call, right? Like what, 5-6 months later? Tell us about that.
Yeah. So the only one time in 8 years I called you and complained, right, Ayres? No, I'm just kidding. But no, it was like, hey man, what's going on? I was such a creature of habit. I'm a true guardian, right? So you give me an A lead and I turn it into production, right? So this was a new lead. It was what was available. And in the beginning, I really struggled on it. And my mindset was kind of some stinking thinking there. I just wasn't putting in the work to figure out how to get better. I just assumed it was the lead. Right. It's kind of like when I first got started in this industry, I had 28 of my first 30 policies net place. And then the next 3 months, I became a insurance guru, not a people guru, and started having some stuff drop off the books, people not getting approved. And I remember having a good conversation with Brian Delaney. He's like, dude, it's not the leads. It's the same leads you've been getting the whole time. It's, and then to go from that place where I dreaded seeing a call-in coming in to 6 months later, if I got 15 call-ins in a week, I was probably writing 8 or 10 grand in production off of those call-ins and getting an email from home office saying, hey, you and Miranda Martin and Ben Miller are two or three of the top people in the company on call-in leads. I'm like, hey man, that's just a mindset change. My talent and skill didn't carry me there. It was just a mindset change and a perspective change.
I think that's super healthy, because we have to be agile. I mean, we're changing an industry, and so substitute call in now for any other new lead type. It's the same thing. So it's just like, I just love that you took a mix to set yourself up for success from all different spokes of what we can offer. Moving into resolution, which is the second takeaway that we really wanted from you guys. You alluded to it earlier. Just for anyone who may not know, talk briefly about the follow-up folder. And just wanted to underscore that you said that 30% of your business for December came from said follow-up folder. So pay attention, guys. What's the recipe there?
So I'm a firm believer that every person on that lead is a family that needs my help. I don't just say that for, something cool to say, right? Or hear myself say that. So for me, whenever I follow up with a client, they're going to know that I'm there to help them. And if it's the time is right, great. If it's not great, that's fine. I have a folder over here, a follow-up folder right, that I have from leads that I print out and dial, whether that's A-Lead mortgage protection. I just got into the razor game literally in Q4 last year. So still figuring that out as well. But Cicely, I simply put a stack over there. I had about 30 something leads in there. And I knew at any given time, there was probably 15 to 20 grand in production in that. If I, had the time to go through it or intentionally went through it. So I made my mind up right after Thanksgiving that I'm going to call through those people and I'm going to let them know, hey, look, if you're interested in me helping you, this is the best time of year to get coverage. Insurance companies are, issuing policies. You don't have to worry about rates, and potentially going up in the year ahead. And most importantly, if I'm talking to you, Agent Cicely, I say, hey guys, I really want to help you. We've had multiple conversations. I know this is important to you. Let me help you get out of your own way here. I definitely don't want to carry your lead into next year and deprive the next family of my help. Is that fair? So let's get this taken care of now before the holidays officially kick off. And I think there's about 36, 37K in production from that conversation from about 12 to 15 appointments.
Just like nugget there, guys, just like the language nugget is just, man, it's not fair for you or me for us to drag this into fill in the blank next year, next month, next week. It's just a great takeaway that anybody can say that statement and have that kind of posture, I think, for sure, Rex. And because you're resolute in your mind, you truly feel that. And so the oldest lead that you wrote in December, what month was it from? May of 2022. Yeah. I'd have had about 7 conversations with that lady, and think she ran out of random odd reasons to give me to think about it, and just decided to do it. So, just don't give up on people, but don't depend on them either. I'm not going to bank on that working for me. I'm going to bank on investing in leads and carrying the right activity and mindset into my next week. Yeah. You had said something when we were game planning the call that I thought was just like really, really beautiful. And it carries us really into the I guess kind of setting up the kids and setting up the family, and it kind of plays into resources and resolution. But you had made a comment that you're not going to deny your family. But can you just go talk about that a little bit as we go into the last section on recovery? Yeah. So, we do 3 things in this house. We live here as humans under this roof, eat, break bread, laugh, cry, all the stuff. We homeschool our kids, and I run this agency. Marcella and I run the agency from our home office here. So we wear a lot of hats. So we create some healthy boundaries and some structure. The kids know what's going on, so they're involved. And I let them know right around Thanksgiving when I made that decision, and I ran it by Marcel. I was like, hey, Dad's going to be working a little more this month. Dad's going to make sure that, he does all he can to get this contest for Mommy, and we'll take some time off. But I also let them know that the 4 Christmases that we had planned already between all of our families, and the church events and a bounce house day and bowling day that we had, that I was not going to miss those. So I went ahead and blocked that in my calendar, but I stayed very fluid with everything else. So for me, it's really important that they know that they matter most, but in that mattering, that I have to make sure that I lead by example for them and provide for them. Yeah, and I'm going to pass to you here in just a second, Ayres, on just wrapping up, but I just think it's part of resources and resolution, because like your family and is also a resource during that time, because it's not just about more leads, it's about getting the support from the people around you. Ayres, last thoughts on resolution before we head into recovery?
Well, yeah, this is just one of the things, again, I think that this plays directly, Rex, into your nature, and just to the thing that I was just celebrating about you earlier. This isn't something that you acquired in the month of December, is it? No. This idea, I look back and, we go, PCT, pre-COVID times, right? And we go back to 2016, 2015, when we were still knee to knee with all of our clients. You were taking 10 leads a week, and they were coming from 5 counties, which meant that there were no bonus leads for you. And we've already heard the stats on this, right? Like you were still 18, 19 grand a month, 18, 19 apps a month on top of that. And so, that's a habit that you've always had. I mean, like you've always had a good third or more of your production that has come from your follow-up. What are some of the things, if you could help just some of these people kind of frame a little bit, because one of the things that I know that I did is so easy for me to do is I didn't get the answer I want, so I trashed the lead. What's your mindset around that, and how do you distinguish between, hey, this is someone that I am going to follow up with and someone that I'm just kicking to the curb? How do you do that?
Yeah. So if they've given me any hope that they still want my help, then I'm going to make sure that I stay in front of them. I take really good notes on the front of my lead. I've gotten, some of my leads have like, I don't know, you can write a book off of the notes that I have on there, but just staying in front of them. Like, hey, is your grandmother fully recovered from the cancer she was battling? Is your daughter doing better with the accident she was in? Whatever the reason was that they couldn't let me help them, whether it was a legit reason or not, it doesn't matter. It was legitimate to them, right? So just making sure I stay in front of people and humanize the experience for them, make sure that they know that they're seen, they're heard, I care about them, I want to help them. But ultimately, when you invest that much, Ayres, you can have a lot of takeaways. But if I'm just a salesman and not a consultant, you're just a number to me, then how dare I bring some strong challenge? That's why I can have that conversation the first week of December that says, hey, I'm not taking you in the next year because this is not fair for either one of us. I've poured my heart. You said there was a need. You said that you would not be able to afford to stay in the home without your husband or your wife's income. If that's still a problem like it was 4 months ago, let's get that taken care of. If it's not, then I'm sorry, I'm just not your guy. So I'm okay with that. And the gravity of that typically ends up working in my favor and their favor.
Man, we could just end the call right now, but we're going to get to recovery. But yeah, that's beautiful, man. And just imagine if we just took that little bit extra time to do that, or put systems and people in place to help us do that. Their staff, like that's, so. Rex, I think the three of us all agree that this last takeaway is the most important, and perfectly timed on the heels of the power of full engagement. If you guys are not reading that, the power of full engagement goes right along with it. There was recovery for you in December, and there was lots of it. Amidst helping 57 families for $111,000, there was recovery. How did you recover in December, in the throes of it? How'd you recover, the importance of that? Maybe give us some things that you did for fun. Talk to us about recovery.
I want to hit something really, really quick that I promised a few folks that asked me about numbers that I would do. So for the month of December, I booked 70 appointments. I sat with 48 of them and wrote 57 apps. And average app size somewhere around 16 to 1800, so less than 2K. So nothing spectacular there, guys. It definitely shows you what's achievable and what's doable. And my lead spend was around $5,800. So definitely a lot of profitability there, and working on getting, most of that already in that place. As far as the recovery goes, for me, that's the huge part of it. In the book, it talks about we must learn to establish stopping points in our days, invaluable times we take off the track, seize processing information, and shift our attention from achievement to restoration. That's important, because in order for me to be able to engage fully, I have to disengage at some point. I'll give you a brief example. So whenever I get a no-show, I actually get to eat, and that's kind of cool, right? Those of you like to eat, raise your hand. I remember somewhere around the second week of December, I was like, crap, this is a great week. I still got more leads to call. Everything's going well. And had a no-show, went down and ate some dinner with the family. Coming back upstairs, my daughter says, hey, Dad, how about jumping in the hot tub? Me and Mom and Edward are jumping in the hot tub in a few minutes. And I said, yeah, babe, I've got another appointment. If they don't show, I'll go. And she's like, cool. And she's getting all excited about it. I bet she was probably saying, don't show, which is possibly what happened there. But came back upstairs, double dialed the client, couldn't get him, sent him a text, sent him an email. Another point there, stay in front of your people. They ask for your help, stay in front of them, right? And I went to pick up my stack of leads, and like a sharp pain in my side said, hey, you told your daughter you'd go to the hot tub if you didn't get a no-show. I'm like, well, crap, I'm trying to win this contest. What I'll do here. And it became a really easy decision. Went downstairs, threw on swim trunks, got in the hot tub. Getting in a hot tub with two small kids, not quite ideal, not quite the same thing as Marshall and I after a late day, But they're splashing around, whatever, having a good time. Come back in, dry off, come upstairs, hop on a Zoom call, Cicily, threw on my button-up shirt, and I wrote 4 apps for 4,800. They were net placed the next day. And that's because I came from a place of being recharged and refueled by disengaging from productivity and bringing my best energy. Because that client that I met with would have got a fragment of Rex had I not went and spent time with my family and honored my word to them and recharged in a way that I know that I can recharge.
Oh man, it's beautiful. I mean, it's great. You had 4 Christmases for December. You made a statement that you said, I won't deny my family, but I'll help as many families as I can. I won't deny my family in December, but I will help as many families as I can. And I just think that's beautiful. It's exactly what you did. What's great, you also said, Rex, speaking of recovery, so January, you took a week off, right? Promised the family you would, you accomplished what you wanted. You take the week off in January. 2 weeks in of production for the month of January, and you're at 37 applications for 46,000, right? And close us down by just talking about this idea of recovering from work versus working from recovery, and then I'll pass it to you, Ayres, for any last thoughts.
Yeah, I would just say this, guys. Momentum is something that is fickle, but momentum in your production, and momentum in recruiting, momentum in achieving success in this business has to have its energy to keep it in flow. It's never a matter of a lack of time; it's a lack of energy, right? If you don't believe that, try burning the candle on both ends and keeping your health, your sanity, and your relationships intact. It just won't work. We're not designed to work that way. In the book, it talks about is not the intensity of energy expenditure that produces burnout, impaired performance, or physical breakdown, but rather the duration of expenditure without recovery. So guys, whatever it is that you're doing out there, if you don't have recovery as a part of that formula, I can talk to you all day about close ratios. I have to get good at closing just about 95% of my sales because I don't want to put 80 hours a week into sales because I need to find more people to work with. I need to spend time with my family, my church, my community. So I have to be excellent at the things I want to be excellent at. That comes from a place of rest and recovery. And I'm working from rest and recovering. And that just brings a fresh energy and a new charge for me. And it's something that I think is vitally important, right? Those families deserve your best. We get paid commissions for the first 12 to 18 months and then small residuals. They pay for the policies for years to come. Bring the best to the table by bringing your best version of yourself. Found out what that is. That's shooting hoops in the middle of the day, taking a walk, taking my daughter. Last thing I'll share here, Cicily, I had to share this because it's really important. So yesterday, I promised my daughter I would take her to jiu-jitsu practice, and then we would go out to eat as a family afterwards. And I had an appointment that didn't show up on Monday that I got taken care of yesterday. And so sit in the truck, help the family, 4,400 in business, just enough time to go reserve a table at our favorite Mexican restaurant, had dinner with her. Honor your word to your family, honor your word to the things that matter most, recharge yourself so that you can bring your best to the business.
It's beautiful, Rex. Ayres, recap our takeaways for us and close us down. Thanks so much for what you've added, Rex.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rex. Really appreciate you setting this incredible example. And I just want to reiterate for everyone here because this matters. There were 2 apps that took them that were over the cap, right? Like when I was clicking through and I was going from capped to uncapped, capped to uncapped, I was seeing essentially no change in this, and that's huge. The other part about this is out of those 57 apps, there were 3 that were fully underwritten. So I want this to be understood that this can still be simplified issue life insurance that we do. Like it can be done. And here we have yet another shining example. The first one being Kevin Purdy. So it has been done more than once. It has been done more than once. Once a while ago and once recently. So it can still be done, and I think that that's important just for some perspective around this. But in terms of what it is that we were here to talk about today, we were here to talk about the resources. You've got to have the resources because you got to know what the recipe is so that you can bake the cake that you want, get the result that you want. You've also got to understand the importance of resolution around this as well. There's always going to be some that's left over. And Rex has just been a master at he's resolute with himself around what it is that he's going to accomplish. And he has achieved resolution just through his processes. And he's made it that this is what I'm going to do. And that's why he's getting so much of the result that he has. And that is a habit for him that has been there since the beginning. And then the last one is recovery. It's not enough to recover from work because that means we're still low on bandwidth, but to know how to work from recovery. And what Rex has done here, he has gotten clear and he can identify clearly and specifically what recharges him. Rex does not use his family as an excuse or as a reason for it's not why he's unable to achieve results. He uses them as a reason to go out and get the results, but also as a resource for what recharges him so that he can go and get more. And he's taken the time to be intentional, very, very intentional about what time he's going to spend with him so that they can give back to him in the way that he gives to his family. And I just think that that's so huge. So hopefully for everyone that's out there on the call, the 2,000 of you that are there today, I hope you gained a lot of value from this. Rex, I cannot thank you enough for just being the tremendous role model that you've been for this company and just for being that in our agency. Thanks for the belief you continue to give to me. And Cicely, thank you for your partnership here with me as well all these years. Guys, I'm going to give it back to you, but thanks for joining us, Symmetry Nation.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ayres and Cicely.
Thanks, Rex. Thanks, babe.
Phenomenal job, guys. Congratulations, Rex Knight, on such just an absolutely inspirational story and showing what's possible here. And grateful for both you, Cicely and Ayres, and all you continue to do behind the scenes and contribute back to the growth of Symmetry. So grateful for you all. Fantastic call. Can't wait to see everybody next week.
Thanks all.